Hi there, my name is Jessica Drossin, and today I'm going to walk you through the new JD grass brushes and overlays. And this is kind of a handy little set if you do things like I do, where maybe you are at an overlook area and you want to sort of get rid of, traces that this has been used for parking, and maybe humans have left their trash all over it, which, bummer. So you want to camouflage this without doing a ton of cloning, which might or might not be effective. Or let's say you accidentally cropped off someone's feet in a really awkward way and you want to add a little more canvas, put in a little grass to sort of cover up an awkward crop. I've also had to do that a time or two, especially with my 3-year-old. So today I'm just going to show you how I worked on this particular image. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out an overlay here. And this one's called the Tall Weeds, and it's Pale version 1. So I'm going to select it all, I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste it right on into the image. And I'm just going to move it down here so that there are no gaps. It's fitting against all the edges, and I could use my transform tool and scale things to make it fit a little bit differently if I wanted to, but I'm basically pretty happy with how this is all going. I'm pretty much covered up all the trash here, which is nice. So what I'm going to do now is just sort of integrate this a little bit more. So the first job of this overlay is done in that it's covering up the parking lot and the trash, but now I need to make it feel like it's actually part of this original photograph. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just go to this action here. These are the bonus actions that's called darken bottom of the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And as you see, you make sure before you hit this that you have selected your overlay, and then the action's only going to affect the overlay itself. It's not going to affect your entire image. So if I turn this off, it also turns off this adjustment. So it's a clipping mask and it's only going to affect that overlay. Alrighty. So let's see, that's better integrated now. I'm going to maybe even blur the lower bottom just a little bit more to make it look like it's convincingly working with the rest of the depth of focus, which is a pretty shallow depth of focus. So I've also just blurred the lower bottom only. The top little flowers here are left alone. And now what I think I want to do is maybe I'll just put in a little bit of brush to this. So I'm going to go ahead and have a new layer, and I'm going to go and I am going to make sure that I have my brush selected, and I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to load, and I'm going to select one that fits more with this grass. Some of the grasses look better for actual mowed grass, some look better for tall green grass. Then I also have, because I'm in California, I need to have these tall sort of weedy natural grasses. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to pick one of these, and I'm going to select a color from my image, maybe this kind of golden brown, and I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that there, and I'm going to even enlarge it just a little bit. And let's see here. I'm going to make sure, right now it's going over the top of this, and that doesn't make any sense because this area is blurred to suggest that it's closer in space to us. This is sharp, so I'm going to move it underneath of this, and here it is. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and move it someplace where it's a little bit more visible. Maybe I'll even change the blending mode here to screen. Okay, perfect. So that'll show up a little bit better. So I can add this just to even add a little more detail and drama or visual interest as well, and then move it around. I can copy it. I can, if I hit it a couple of times, you'll see the brush is turning. I'm going to just go ahead and delete that because the brush is actually, it's dynamic in that it will flip itself horizontally, and it will also change sizes. So sometimes you might need to then go ahead and transform it with the scale tool. Now what I want to do is I like to add the grasses very early on into the edit. And so I'll just finish off this edit just to demonstrate how it will feel all integrated. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick from these JD green tone corrections because I do have a lot of greens, and I'm going to select coffee greens. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go up here into the JD Autumn Tones Set 2, and I'm going to find one of these overlays here. These are instant overlays. They work just like a regular overlay, but they are created through an action. I'm going to pick Sandalwood, and that's going to come up here. And now I feel like this is pretty well integrated. That if you look at this image, you're not going to assume that this was added in Photoshop, that it looks like it's all basically like the same sort of green tones and similar golden tones, and that's why it helps to do an edit over the top rather than editing it all and then trying to sort of match the effects later by adding the overlay at the end of the process. Add the overlays and the brushes at the beginning of the process. All right, well, thanks so much for watching.